final match of the day. It is going to be featuring one of the biggest players in the StarCraft scene who has been around for a very long time. Thank you for joining me here. For my final match of the day, after this I'm going to be collapsed because it is 7:30 AM here and I'm dying right now. I've been digesting coffee the whole time, but anyway, let's get started. Game number one is already on the way, as we can see up at the top top left-hand side, I should say. That's how tired I am, guys. Up at the top left-hand side as our red Terran player, currently playing for AAA. It is MarineLord. Perhaps the prince or the son of Marine King. I'm not actually sure which is higher, a lord or a king. Oh wait, hang on, a king is higher, isn't it? Yeah, I just got to remember my Game of Thrones terminology. But anyway, down the bottom right hand side as, well, a tyrant. I'm sure a tyrant is higher than a king or a lord. It is Jaedong. Our blue Zerg down here. We'll see what he gets up to. This should be an interesting match with Jaedong. He's been doing a little bit better than what we had seen before recently, starting to really find his stride, especially in Zerg versus Zerg. I'm sure everyone knows he has like a, you know, what is it, like a 90% win ratio in Zerg versus Zerg, which is just outrageous. I don't know what it is for this matchup. I think it's a little bit lower. I hope it's a little bit lower, otherwise he'd just be destroying every single person out there. But he is certainly one of the favourites for this event, so it is going to be good to see how he rolls out here against MarineLord. And of course it will be interesting to see how MarineLord chooses to play up against one of the biggest names in the StarCraft scene, and you know, part of one of the biggest teams. All these kinds of things that do apply to Jaedong. Everything, they're all big. That's what it is. That's how it works with Jaedong. So MarineLord going to be opening up with a command center first. Jaedong doing similar sort of thing, except it's a hatchery. We can see that the spawning pool will go down shortly after as well. And it looks like things are just going to proceed at a nice macro pace here between these two players. So MarineLord, you'd expect a refinery going down. There it is. And what I would presume we're going to see is, you know, we'll probably see a factory coming up shortly after. Just going to swap across with that barracks, and which will presumably have a reactor on it shortly after. And just some standard sort of play here out of MarineLord, wanting to just, you know, make sure he's got everything in check, wants to make sure that Jaedong's not doing anything too crazy. We did see a, like a slightly, it was, I don't know, I'd call it a slightly proxied spire from Ghost User. He actually dropped down some creep and built a spire sort of just in his main base, but not in a normal sort of position. You would want to hope that, you know, Jaedong's not doing something scary like that, because of course back in the Brood War days he was well known for his insane muta control that gave him, as you know, some of the big titles that he did win. So MarineLord will get that bunker started. We'll probably see the reactor go up very soon as well, as he gets out a couple of Marines for defense. Never want to skimp out on those Marines. You do want to have a couple just to make sure that you can protect the front door. As we can see, this is the start of the bunker that is going up, which will be part of our wall, which will probably look, well, something, you know, not exactly that, but that sort of basic sort of configuration there, where it sort of just sits at the front, make sure that nothing can get in and nothing can get out as need be. We can see the factory going down. The reactor will just, well, the racks will move over, throw down that reactor there as well, and get started with the construction as he moves into that very standard reactor Hellion play. Now, this is the interesting part. As a Terran player, you want to figure out, is he going to pick up that second gas, and when is it going to go down? An earlier gas obviously signifies something of the armory variety, or of a, you know, some kind of extra little starport going down. But MarineLord, my friend, what are you up to here? Has a double racks going down, but Jaedong actually has an overlord positioned beautifully and can see both of those racks going down. I'm not sure if this is some kind of fake out here from MarineLord. It's a little bit odd to see him put those down. Like, you know, a lot of the time you'd say, well, I want to put these down at the backside where my opponent can't scout them earlier, because of course overlords will generally sort of come in this sort of direction, or sometimes up that way, and the other overlord that you'll sometimes see comes in straight through that way. But this fella down the back is going to see everything that is coming up, those double barracks that are there. And now we can see for Jaedong, he's got his third hatchery going up. We'll see how he's going to deal with this possible threat that might be coming out. Roach Warrant will go down for Jaedong, starts his creep spread as well, wants to try and connect up the third base to the natural at a minimum, so we'll probably see that creep spread start to head down that direction, yeah, just sort of slowly make his way across the creep. The Queen will even make another creep tumor down here, I'd suspect. But for the time being, MarineLord is going to be getting out quite a few Marines here, and in fact, taking into account his name, he's actually going to have quite a lot of those guys out very soon. We're going to have double racks reactors here, and with these Hellions slowly making their way across the map, he's going to check out what's going on. Is there a third base? Yes, there is. Alright, cool. We're ready to go with part 2 of the plan, which is obviously based on confirming what you can see at the third, because of course, you know, if you see a Zerg player that doesn't have their third base at this kind of timing, then something a little bit fishy is going on, and you will need to adequately prepare for that. But as you can see, Roaches are going to catch out those Hellions. Very nicely done by Jaedong, surrounding them from the back, takes down 2. Looks as if he may even get a third. Yes, he does. Brilliantly done. And that is a nice start there for Jaedong, to be able to just restrict his opponent's map control there by taking out those Hellions. 1-1 melee attacks, and a Carapace will start out here for Jaedong. The lair is also just starting up as well, so that he can get prepared with his next level of tech. And we'll see what MarineLord is going to do, because we do have +1 coming out, which is going to give him a nice possible timing attack coming out with these Marines, possibly looking to head towards the third base. A lot of Terran players at this in this sort of stage of the cycle of the metagame will normally get their third command center up by now and already have that producing quite a lot of SCVs and dropping down mules and these kind of things. But MarineLord, he's content to go for a little bit more of a push style. A lot of those Marines coming out, we can see them being added in. Widow Mines, we're going to have a couple of medevacs, and this is looking very similar to a kind of style that you would expect in TVP, where you push out with a lot of Marines, you try and he's going to move forward, just clear out some of the, yeah, he doesn't know that Overlord is down the back, and it looks as if he's just sort of moving forward to try and clear out any units that might be trying to that might scout out what's coming. But unluckily for him, that Overlord has seen absolutely everything. Sees the double barracks here, doesn't know that there's extra reactors here, but now that MarineLord slowly starts to push across the map, his +1 to weapons has kicked in. He does have stim. The Widow Mines are also going to be helping out here as well, but the Lings that were waiting out patiently have made their way inside the main base. They're going to get a little bit of damage done at the natural, and then some inside the main as well. But MarineLord is going to push forwards. He's going to try and see what he can do here, but the Widow Mines are not actually getting down in the ground fast enough here, and the Lings and Roaches pushing forwards. However, is it going to be enough? It looks like the Widow Mine will come forward and take down one of the Banes that was looking to try and defend the attack, but Jaedong just has too much. He's got too many Lings out. Of course, back at home for MarineLord, he had to deal with a few of those Lings that came out. There were quite a few of those SCVs that went down, or they had to transfer at least and try and restrict some of their mining here, but that kind of meant that it bought Jaedong some time, and he was able to get enough defense up, and as you can see, he's going to start to really stream ahead on the work account very soon, whereas MarineLord, his third command center, only just up and running now, I think. So it looks as if we will have a third base coming up very soon from MarineLord. I would suspect that he's going to move across and just try and clear out the creep the creep very soon. If he heads straight over there. He does need to clean it out, because otherwise it's going to take him a very long time to land here. There is even a Zergling here that is going to be able to burrow down very soon, may be able to get that one down, but a macro hatch comes up for Jaedong, +2 to melee and Carapace on the way. His Spire is, well, we actually don't have a Spire. Interestingly, he's just going to go for a big attack here. We've got lots of Lings that are probably going to switch across into Banes very soon. He may, in fact, just no. He's just gonna hold out for the moment. We can see the upgrades. Pneumatize Carapace, +2 to Carapace and attack are just morphing in now. So he's not going to go for such a big attack. He's just going to try and delay his opponent. He wants to try and snipe off this command center if he can. We'll come across, can burrow a Ling down there. There you go, burrows the Ling, and now he's actually in a really nice flanking position onto his opponent, just coming in from the backside. If he wants to, he can try and surround some of these Marines from the back here. There will be quite a few Widow Mines out that he will need to deal with, but that is certainly dealable. And as we can see, Roach is now starting to come in. 24 Lings are on the production tab right now for Jaedong, and the Marines are going to come forward. Widow Mines burrowing just in time, soaks up quite a lot of those Zerglings there, forces a cancel. In fact, doesn't even cancel the 4th base Jaedong. is just sort of messed up a tiny bit there, losing quite a lot of those lings and then also the 4th base. But MarineLord going to be happy to move forward. I don't think he should go too much further than this, though. His roaches and lings are going to get caught out, and we'll probably see him lift in a second here and get out, because there is not too much that is going to work out here for the MarineLord. But nope. Doesn't even lift off, just says, alright, well, that's enough work for me right now. And as we can see, Jaedong with a lot of lings out on the map, 2-2 just about to complete, and that is a, wow, that is the biggest stack of SCVs I have ever seen together like that. That is crazy. But finally, the 3rd command center drops down. We have 2-3 upgrades on the way for MarineLord. So a little bit of a difference in the synchronization of the upgrades, but not to worry. That doesn't really matter too much. As long as you've got lots of these units coming out, we can see all of these extra racks have been added on right now, and they are looking to get started with some production. So it looks as if MarineLord is going to stick with a very standardized kind of style. The old marine mine play is coming out of our Terran player right here. It looks as if he will have a little bit of a threat here at the 3rd base. Some lings just diving inside are going to take down a, well, in fact, it keeps the turret alive. Very nicely done there by MarineLord to keep the repair up on that. But as you can see, Jaedong is really starting to prepare for a big push right now. He's got 17, 18, 19 banelings now morphing in, going to take him to a ridiculous total right now. We can see them slowly waddling their way up, rolling up the map, if you will. A couple of creep trimmers now just slowly pushing about, but MarineLord pushes out a little bit too far, but the Widowmines help him out quite a bit there, but there is just not enough. Too many Marines died, a couple of the banelings, and that is it. Very, very swift, decisive victory to Jaedong in game number 1.